Good evening, chat, and welcome back to the Ash Hobson YouTube channel. And the purpose of this stream is to talk about, well, a little bit about my upgrade path from way back in the day to the rig I'm currently using. And I was thinking the other day about, you know, my upgrades and whether it was all worth it in the end. I recall chatting to one of my colleagues at work and talking about this weird hobby that we all seem to share, and he's like, "Oh, that sounds interesting. How much did that cost?" I'm not going to say the figure of how much I've spent developing, and I say developing, how much I spent on the current setup that I'm using. But anyone with a bit of sim racing knowledge and Google can probably have a little look and ascertain how much I spent just on this setup. But I don't know whether it's exponentially has been worth it to go from what I used back in the past to what I use now. So if you're sat there wondering, Ash, get to the point, is direct drive worth the upgrade? Well, it depends on many factors. Depends on what setup you've got at the moment, how much money you have, and most importantly of all, the only resource which is finite for everybody is how much time do you have to commit to get the full benefit of a direct drive wheel. So I'm going to discuss all those different factors, and I'm going to do some rally games afterwards, go to WRC generations, and probably do a bit of the career mode. But what about my upgrade path? Well, I had a belt, like a bungee cord wheel when I was a kid. It's one of those that you sort of sat with in your lap. It was sort of like you rested under your lap, and then it was just a bungee cord, and you had like 180 degrees of rotation. You had two very rickety sort of pedals that it was connected to, and I used to play that on the PlayStation 2. Anyway, I got stopped when I was a kid, waiting until I was a bit older, and I got into rallying. And through work, I got the opportunities to be part of a rally team, which was great fun. I was co-driving for a bit. I was helping out as sort of the service manager, despite having very little mechanical ability whatsoever. But I could kind of boss people around, so it worked out quite well. Anyway, I went away for a couple of years overseas and thought, well, I don't want to miss out on rally experience. And I thought I'd get myself a proper force feedback wheel. My first wheel was the Logitech G920. Anyone know anything about the G920? It's a gear driven wheel. It has like 2 Newton meters of peak torque, strong metal construction of the wheel with a plastic sort of base, and it's kind of the first proper sim racing wheel that many new sim racers kind of look at, and I really enjoyed that. It came with the little gear shift as well, 3 pedal set, and it was everything you need to get up to do some sim racing and to be, well, relatively competitive. So I got that. I then had that clamped to my desk. I moved on from there to a play seat challenge, which was probably the pound for pound the most fun rig I had, because, well, anyone who's ever used a play seat challenge goes, this rig is absolutely perfect for the wheelbase. I then moved over from the play seat challenge to a GT Omega ART, which you can see just over there. Hashtag it's for sale. And that worked really well for a while. I upgraded the G920 to a Thrustmaster TX with I got it straight for the TLCM pedals, which are also down there, also for sale, and I got various different rims for it. So being a rally boy, definitely picked up one of these bad boys, which was, this is my favorite wheel of the ones I got. I got this. I got the Ferrari 599 XX Evo, which is it feels better than this one because there's all the buttons work really well, whereas this one has a bit of a funny that button there is not great. I had these two wheels, and I kind of use these exclusively. See, this one's a lot more worn because Rally Boy, come on. And I also have the Ferrari wheel, the one that comes standard with the base. I have never used this wheel in anger. I've never used this wheel because it just feels like a toy, essentially. Anyway, put those wheels down. So I had the Thrustmaster setup, and that was just bloody good, really. There was nothing wrong with a Thrustmaster setup, but as probably you guys are as well, you're watching YouTube, you're watching Jimmy Broadbent, who's got a Simagic, you're watching Gaming Muscle, who I think has had pretty much every direct drive wheel going. You see the Fanatec direct drives, VRS Direct, Simagic, Simagic, and there's definitely a bit of a hardware elitism, I think would be the correct term. Everyone started getting Husqvarna Ultimate pedals. Everyone started getting the Fanatec TH8A Shifter, which has sequential mode. Everyone started spending or getting the YouTubers, the influencers, getting bucket loads of hardware sort of thrown at them. And I fell into that trap as well a little bit. I was watching my favorite YouTubers talking about their favorite direct drive wheels and saying how much of an improvement it is, how much better it is for your sim racing experience. And I sort of sat there and was like, yeah, you know what? When I get some money together, I'll pick up one. And then I did. I got in some money, got some cash together, and I decided to go for a full Simagic setup. And the main reason for that is because at the time, before Moser sort of came out and released the affordable wheels, wheelbases, that was probably the best sort of bang for buck step up into direct drive that I thought anyway. Thrustmaster was still 2 years away before the T818 came out, so I knew I had to leave the Thrustmaster ecosystem, so I went for the Simagic the Simagic Alpha Mini, which has, up to 10 newton meters of consistent torque, but has been tested up to 13. And it's had the best sort of wheel release as well. That was kind of a big thing that attracted me to it, so I can add my own wheels and use proper OMP sort of style wheels with just a little add-on later on. And it is fantastic. I love it. It's brilliant. It's definitely helpful for rallying. The problem with the Thrustmaster TX, bear with me one moment. Here it is. The Thrustmaster TX. Now, this one has 900 degrees of rotation, slightly different to the T300 has 1080. It's got 3.9 newton meters of torque. You have the multiple wheels that I've shown you. Fairly mass produced. Not too heavy, a little bit noisy, a little bit rattly. As you can see, I've changed the locking on it as well. And it's got this fantastic feature. So if you had an Xbox Connect, you could connect this as well as the cable to the Xbox Connect. Wasn't used in any game, but you've got this nice lump, which really helps when you're wanting to block, seeing like the speedometer or what gear you're in. This is really great for just making sure you don't see any of that information. So well done, Thrustmaster, for I think they were forced to by Xbox rather than their fault. But yeah, this is what I got, and it was brilliant. It was really, really helpful. But with a belt-driven wheel, you've got to be quite quick with the motions. Now, it's definitely better than the Logitech G29, G920 aspect. Because when you're doing the fast movements in rallying, in the gear wheel, it can miss a gear, which is kind of why I upgraded from the Logitech, because I was running max force feedback and I was sort of making the gear sort of clunk over on each other. My wheel would then be sort of driving at this angle on the straight because I've, skipped a cog or two. I went to the Thrustmaster. The belt-driven wheel has a little bit of slip, essentially, because you've got a small servo motor, like yay size, let's say, that's connected with a lot of pulley system, and the little motor then pulls on the pulleys, and that gives you the force feedback. But occasionally that can slip. Thankfully, I haven't experienced that with the TX when I'm rallying, because I've always had it in force fan mode to keep it cool. I tend to lower the force feedback to about 70%, so I'm not using the maximum the whole time. But I knew that for the rally experience, get those finite details, particularly in road textures, because every time there's something in the way from the game to the motor to your hand, pulleys or gears, you do miss out on granular bits of information. So I thought, I'm a rally boy, I need to get myself direct drive to really help for those quick turns, get all the forces possible, so I know exactly what the tire's doing at any one moment. So then I got the Simagic Alpha Mini, and it is brilliant. There's no denying that. I've got the Simagic Alpha Mini, I've got the Simagic P2000 pedals, which are very good indeed. But it all comes back to, is it worth it? Well, the downfalls of going to direct drive is that it's elitism essentially. I am spending the most amount on my wheelbase that I can to get the most amount of experience from it. But it's such a small, I would say there's very little jump up in enjoyment from sim racing from getting a direct drive wheel. Yes, it's awesome. If I can crank the force feedback up with the VR headset, I can feel fully immersed. But what it does highlight is that with a much better wheelbase and with a much more, expensive hobby, you got something that's like the top of the tree of the direct drive wheelbase. Every other bit of kit that you have just doesn't quite compare. Like the Simagic Alpha Mini and the Thrustmaster TLCM pedals. The TLCM pedals over there are a very good set of pedals, but you're missing out. You just know that it's not quite the best. Oh, yeah, but it's not really adjustable. The low cell only goes up to 100 kilograms. There's a little bit of wobble in the pedals. There's a bit of plastic construction. The clutch hasn't got that sort of step feeling as a real car would. It's just not as good as the quality that you're getting from the wheel. And then you look at the shifters and handbrakes, etc. None of your rig, if it's your first big investment in sim racing, is the wheelbase. Nothing else quite compares. The reason why I got rid of the GT Omega ART, because I didn't want that flex, and I wanted to experience the best that sim racing could offer. So I got myself a Pro Sim Rig, or PSR 3 from Race Anywhere, to make sure it's all in check, there's no movement, and I got a proper FIA chair. I'm not actually rallying or racing. Why do I have an FIA sponsored chair? But it's all a part of that elitism. But at no point with all these enhancements did I think myself, I am having 20, 30, 40, 50 times the enjoyment as I did with my GT Omega Art or my Thrustmaster setup. So the point I'm trying to make well, actually, there's another point you haven't considered. The software angle. When you've got a mass market product such as the Thrustmaster TX or some of the belt-driven Fanatec CSLs or what have you, because they're so mass-produced, there's always a great pool of resources to get the best force feedback. I, like you, don't have hours in the day to test force feedback on each individual game, do another run, come back, tweak it all around, go back out again, because, well, the enjoyment of sim rally and sim racing for me is actually doing it. I don't want to spend all my time setting up, preparing myself for it. I just want to get on and do it. I mean, time at the end of the day is our most finite resource and one that we need to maximize to the most. And you really miss out if you're spending all your time adjusting your throttle dampening or changing out the springs in your brake pedal, or even spending hours on hours in your software setup, such as this one here. These are all different profiles. This is the Sim Pro Manager Beta, sorry. Or Beta, say in America. And got your various different devices, though it comes with a load of settings in the box, and most of them are pretty good, to be perfectly honest. None of them's bad. But then you think, oh, I could get an improvement. So you go onto the Discord, or you go on Reddit, or you go on Google, you search finding various different profiles, and then you sort of create your own. You've got tons of setting here from the total force experience, the smoothness as well. And it's all helpful little tips. But it does get very confusing when you're first starting out. You spend the first 2 weeks with your new direct drive wheel just learning how it works, how each of these settings affect the force feedback you get in the game. And the point you need to mention with direct drive wheels, with all these different settings, is that these aren't settings from the game. These are settings that you can change in the wheel. So you've got your confusing matter of setting up the force feedback that you experience via the game software, and then you can tweak that in your actual wheelbase software as well. You can end up down this trope of changing settings hours and hours on end, and for most of us it's just not, well, I find it's just not worth it. I'll rather than spending hours finding the best car setup for Laguna Seca, I'd ask the guys who I know about it, hey, do you have a setup I can use, or at least an improved one, to get some tweaks, and away you go. Because I don't want to spend my time, quite limited time, playing around with various settings. But the problem with that when you're using such a premium product, because direct drive, regardless of whether it's 5 Nm or 12, 25 Nm, is a premium product. Therefore, you need to put effort to get the absolute most out of that wheelbase. Otherwise, you've just wasted money, unfortunately. So I don't feel like I've wasted money, because I do quite spend a lot of time in my rig, and it's really immersive, and I am having a great time with it. And I know that this server base will just keep running forever, where the Thrustmaster might give up after a few years. But I don't think for everybody, however, and when I say everybody, I mean most people in sim racing, there is no need to go down the route of Gamer Muscle, Jimmy Broadbent, Lawrence, or what have you, and buy a direct drive wheel, unless you're going to commit the time to maximize your utility out of it. You, like me, probably just want to jump in, get the basic setups, and away you go, because that's what we all want. We want to be up there, really enjoy the experience of sim racing and sim rallying, and not waste our time playing around with various settings for each game. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't know about yours. If you do have an opinion on the subject, please let me know in the comments or up in chat as well what your thoughts are on direct drive. What wheelbase do you guys use? But yeah, I just thought I want to have a talk about it for the most part, because I think direct drive wheels don't make your enjoyment of sim racing anymore. It could get you more involved, and that's great, but sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and what you've got, what you can afford, is perfectly suitable for our hobby. Our hobby is expensive enough without pretty much mandating and gatekeeping and elitisms of our various different hardwares that we're using. Good enough is still... Yeah, absolutely, Flight. I'm not saying that the investment into direct drive isn't worth it, but there is a reality that your Simagic 2 Pro, even for me, I think would be far too much, far more than what I would ever need. I think even the Alpha Mini is probably more than I would ever need, because I'm not going to spend time getting full utility out of the software, you know what I mean, or from the hardware. I really enjoy my direct drive. It's really immersive for me. I can put a proper rally wheel on it and all that sort of stuff, but I think for 90% of sim racers... Out of focus again. Hello. Oh, I hate I hate the Logitech Brio. It keeps changing it from. There you are, back in. Horses for courses, but there is a bit of a misnomer regards to all of sim racing. We're like, you need the best equipment or what have you, when actually most people don't. And I stress when I say most people. For us mad keen ones, absolutely, spend your money. It's your money. Do what you like with it. But I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze for the majority of people that are taking part in our little hobby. I think I prattled on enough about direct drive, wheels and the upgrades and all that sort of stuff. That being said, I am going to make a few upgrades to my rig. I've got a really nice sequential shifter that I got from AliExpress, SRS Sequential Shifter, which is great, and a handbrake. But I am going to get a new H pattern. And the reason for that is, as I mentioned earlier, you've got one premium product with the wheelbase. I've got another premium product for my pedals and the handbrake, but I'm still using a TH8A shifter, which it does the job, but I think I can get a little bit more realistic experience with something else. Doesn't make it me any faster, but it's a nicety. Absolutely, everyone's got their own opinion on it, but this is just mine. Isn't the AccuForce as well? You can the force feedback can be set by the telemetry in game. You don't necessarily need to use the game force feedback. If the force feedback in the game isn't ideal, then you can use the telemetry. I think that's right. The AccuForce? I may be wrong. Because that's a really cool feature. Because some games have really bad force feedback, or not as detailed force feedback as one would like. WRC Generations, for example. So that's a cool feature, and I think that should be implemented for all of direct drive. But there's a lot of issues with that, I imagine, and a lot of work needs to go behind getting that sort of putting that sort of software provisions in place. But that I can get behind if you want to get an AccuForce for the telemetry sort of force feedback, so you can get a consistent force feedback experience in every game you play. Because that would just be worth it for me anyway. So I can just jump in and crack on. I do feel like any time I had even with the Mini, I'm looking at the Simagic Discord going, oh, could I get the ultimate? There's no need for me to get the ultimate. It's absolutely no need. Or if we're looking at just a wheel, get the GTR, which has like 12 buttons and rotary knobs, what have you. You get the GTC, which is like 50 buttons with like dual clutch as well. I do really enjoy this hobby, but I think we go overboard. But then we're obviously looking at us at the top end of us as hobbyists, you know, we're the hardcore sim racing fans, and I think the marketing spiel of getting the more realistic experience, direct drive does that, but I don't think you necessarily need to get a 25 Newton meter wheel to get that enjoyment, to get that pleasure from sim racing. I think the ESL would be a good one with Range Sport in the later this year if they use more affordable wheels instead, so that it can be a bit more realistic for new sim racers. New people interested in sim racing. When you watch ESL, you're looking at it as like just a mouse or a keypad or the controller, and anyone can get in and enjoy this game. But if you're watching sim racing, you're seeing these setups with, you know, DD2 that cost £1,300 just for the wheelbase, and then another £500 for the wheel, and then you've got £600 pedals. And, you know, for the mass market people, they're not going to appeal to that. They're going to be like, well, it's far too expensive. So what they should do is get some budget rigs for the ESL. Use a Moser R5 instead. Show the gaming community that sim racing can be relatively affordable, and get the barrier of entry extremely low. Now, I don't think they should all use Logitech G920s, but I think there's something to be said to try and appeal to the mass market to get people into sim racing, you know. Anyway, I think that's enough of me prattling on about direct drive. Was it Did you not get on with the AccuForce then? Oh, okay. But like with everything, force feedback's very, very subjective. Depending on what you want and what you want from a force feedback, what you want from the game. Some people just want to feel the suspension aspect. I quite like to feel the road texture because I don't have like a butt kicker or transducers on my rig, so I quite like having that detail because I don't have it anywhere else. Maybe if I pump some cash for a butt kicker, then I can just feel, you know, the suspension movements and what the tires are doing through the wheel rather than anything else. Anyway, you can hear that in the background. I'm just getting WRC generations. I'm going to do a bit of career mode. Bear with me a second. Cool. And here we are in WRC career mode. Oh, is it just okay? Well, I mean, it would be interesting. Oh, it looks like I need to repair my car somehow. It would be interesting, the test, to see whether telemetry in like Forza Motorsport or when that comes out this year, whether you could do that using is there a rest day? Yeah, there you go. Whether, because if you can get, if you could get telemetry in like Forza Motorsport or something, so the force feedback could be improved, then that should obviously the telemetry should be picked up and therefore make the gaming experience in a game that isn't quite sim just that little bit better, perhaps. Okay. Should we go for a manufacturer tryout? I've got a Rally 1 car. Let's give it a go. So why did you move on from the AccuForce to the SC2? In my warped head, that seems like a bit of a side upgrade, but then I'm not too au fait with the AccuForce or CiviCube. Is it? I did put a link in the description of the stream comparing the majority of sort of wheelbases and the like. So if you want a quick direct comparison between various different wheelbases, and that's one. Oh, you can't change setup of a car and try out. That's annoying. So I always thought the AccuForce would be great for if the force feedback of a particular game wasn't to your liking, then the AccuForce one can take over. But if you're not getting the most experience out of it, then yeah, it makes sense. Right, Rally Catalunya.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And left 4 short and right 4 medium, tightens 30. Caution, right 4 medium, open, keep into left 5 short, 50. Left 5 and right 5. Left 6 tightens into right 5 short, 150. Caution, narrows, hard brake, into square left, small cut, 30. Chicane, right, 50. Caution, right 4, brake, into left 3, keep in, 30. Right 4, keep into left 3. And right 5, tightens, into right 4, short. Left 3, keep into right 5, short. Into flat left, keep into right 5, medium, tightens.
I thought it was left 5.
And left 4, medium, tightens, into right 3, long. Into left 4, short and left 5, tightens. Into right 4. Into left 6. Left 5, medium, tightens 3. Into right 1, medium, junction. Quite a shock, wasn't it? And right 4,
it was
tightens
Neville.
into right 4. Left 4, tightens, into right 5, tightens, into flat right, 80. Caution, hairpin left, small cut, 50. Right 4, into flat left, hard brake. Into left 4, into square right, opens.
Silver? Okay. I must say with direct drive wheels, particularly rally games, the immediacy of moving the wheel from left to right is actually really bloody helpful. Like on the Logitech G920 that I talked about earlier, is you had a bit of sort of a gap in the force feedback around the center. You couldn't feel much until the wheel sort of turned, you know, like 5 degrees or more either side before you start to feel anything. So I always felt a little bit loose, and you need those sort of subtle little distances to help with, you know, the left, right, sort of the kinks in the corner. Upgrade your car. I don't need to upgrade it at the moment. Right, my car is at 1%. I didn't have an opportunity to repair it, which is rather irritating. What difficulty? I'm on 140. Let's give it a go. Don't need extra tyres. Seeing a bit of a waste. We've got one wet day. That'll do nicely. So we'll try to think what might be best. We'll go hard, soft, and then we'll mix it up. Car setup. Oh, I don't have any setups for this. Right. Really? To be fair, the Simagic tube is Simagic tube probe is the top of the direct drive tree, isn't it? You know, but I have seen a few reviews of the Logitech direct drive wheel from a few people basically saying that it gives the best force feedback, it's best pure force feedback experience, but then obviously limited by the pedals and lack of wheels and sort of the how to attach it using aftermarket rims, etc. It'll be interesting to see what more they do with the Logitech direct drive wheel, but I've heard nothing but good things about the base itself and the force feedback that it sort of pushes out. But I don't think I've met anyone that's been unhappy with their Simagic 2. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's because I cheaped out on a Simagic rather than gone for a Simagic product. Right. Let's start the day. Let's do some rally action. Didn't Simagic do the force feedback pedal for like 1,800 quid? That came out or announced a few months ago, so you can feel ABS. It's not just some vibration motions, it's like you can adjust the force feedback of the pedal coming up against your foot. That'll be awesome to try out. That's definitely overkill. And at no point do I think direct drive directly make someone instantly faster. Low cell definitely helps, but direct drive has always been, apart from the immediacy for rally games in particular, doesn't always equal faster. more consistent force feedback, absolutely. You're not skipping gears in the Logitech, which isn't too much of a drama in like circuit racing, but for rallying, the Logitech just can't keep up. You know, same with drifting. You're going from left to right so often, and yeah, ends up skipping your gears far too many times. Right, Rally Kenya.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're off. 100. Flat right into left 6. Into right 5 cut and left 3 opens. Into right 3 and left 5 tightens.
Oh, I adjust my brake bias way the wrong way.
And left 5 into right 4 tightens. And left 6 long, don't cut. Into flat right, bumpy, tightens 5, don't cut, 80. Caution, hard brake for square left, don't cut. Into flat right, narrows and left 2, don't cut.
Oh. Hopefully that wasn't too much damage.
Into right 2, into left 3. And fast kinks, don't cut, and fast kinks, don't cut, 80.
I do like Rally Kenya, but WRC
Right
doesn't...
3, don't cut, narrows into fast kinks, don't cut.
I mean, it's improved from WRC 10,
And left 5 and
the
right
night
3,
lighting,
into
but
left
it's
3,
still not great.
Caution, left 2 into right 2, don't cut. And kinks, jump and left 5, narrows.
They talked about with the
Into right 5, very long,
road textures for direct drive, well, road textures in games. I think that's quite important, and
Caution, jump into right 4, 50. Kinks,
I don't know
narrows
if you
and
feel it in your
kinks,
Simagic or in your wheels, but I don't get any road texture.
Watch out, stay on the track.
Oh, I killed someone. I don't get any road
Brake for
texture
square
in
right,
there.
50.
Well, not on the track. If I go off the track, then I get road texture. But on the actual stage, I don't feel anything from the road.
Water, jump, 50.
And I've been thinking, oh, I want to feel the road texture, because this is a great game. And I know people have had great successes with the using the butt kicker or some transducers, because you get the telemetry data
Caution, right
in
4 tightens,
WRC
very narrow.
generation, so
Widens 400, jump
whereas you didn't
200.
in the previous games, so you can get the road textures coming in the bottom of your seat. But there's me looking to spend another 130 quid, whatever it is, for a butt kicker
Through water, 300.
to feel something that I should realistically feel in the game.
And caution, narrows right 6, tightens 4. Into left 5 brake, into right 430.
Also, these lights to affect my face
Right
means
five opens and
there's a
left
bit
right
of glare
5.
on my actual monitor, which doesn't help when it's night and tricky to
Into
look
left
at.
4, keep in, and right 5, into left 4, don't cut.
Reviews are coming soon. Yeah, I look forward to checking out those reviews.
Right 5 short, into left 6, 80.
It's like anything. What do you want from
Caution, left
your
3, rock in, 30. Left 4, don't cut,
Sim-
into kinks, 30.
sim experience? If you want to simulate really driving a car, then
Left 6, bumpy, keep into right 6.
getting those active pedals, whatever they're called,
Left 4 tightens, into right 4 tightens.
is going to be a great shout. You know, that with your transducers or
And right 6 into flat left, bumpy.
your motion rig would be a pretty
Into flat
epic
right, into flat
experience.
left, bumpy, tightens. Into right 5, into left 6, tightens, tree out. And left 6, into right 5, short, 30.
But that's only for like
Left 5 short, tree in, into flat right, over finish.
the elite sim racers who can have the spare money available. So I wouldn't say no. I've had the option to get active pedals or a motion rig. I think the wife would literally kill me though if I got a motion rig. Right, I think my I think I set the difficulty a bit too low. Oh God, I got a headache today. I decided to have a chill out night last night and had myself a few beers. Final weekend before the wife and the kiddo gets home. And I've been suffering all day. And I thought it'd be fine for the stream, but I might do this event and then I might knock it on the head just because no amount of paracetamol is getting rid of this. But still, Rally Kenya, it's now in the day. 6.5k, so I can now finally see where I'm going. Me and Neville, weirdly from Australia, which I didn't have planned. He's named Neville because Gary Neville's dad has got the best name ever. First name's Neville and his surname's Neville, and Neville. Right. Let me just... There you go. Always feel a bit too close to the screen.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 200, bumpy. Left 5 into kinks, 50. Right 2, don't cut, and left 2, small cut, 50 over bump. Into left 5 narrows, rock out.
I'm so happy they brought back Rally Kenya to the WRC.
And flat left bumpy, into right 5, don't cut, 30.
It's just the classic rally event. That and Monte Carlo are the big three rally events in the WRC calendar for me anyway. Monte Carlo, Rally Finland,
flat right bumpy 50,
and the Safari Rally.
left 5 over crest, keep middle 150 bumpy.
Oh,
Hard
that
brake, left
sun's
2
not
narrows,
helping.
gate widens 100.
But I am looking forward to what EA does,
Jump into flat right 200.
because if it's based on the WRC calendar, which it bloody well should be,
Ouch. Jump into hard brake.
I hope they can
left,
smash
narrows,
Rally Kenya
30.
out of the park. We know they can do Monte Carlo well,
Flat
based on
left,
Dirt Rally 2.
150, bumpy.
So I'm just doing a Chris Meek kit. Back on.
Into left 6 cut, into widen.
I'm going to do, I think my next stream I'm going to talk about the new WRC game and what we know so far, because I think it's due to come out definitely this year. I think Q2. So we haven't got long. So I'm going to save my thoughts for that stream.
Into right 4 and right 4. Left 5 tightens, hard brake for hairpin right at junction. And left
I must say,
and
with
right
direct
3
drive
long
wheels,
tightens.
going back to my original topic of this stream, there is a level of immersion
Into left
when you
2
have,
short, into right 2
you know,
short.
10 Newton meters available to play with,
2 caution
or
through
if you go
water,
up,
keep
you know,
into
up to
right 2
25, which I
tightens,
think
30
is like
bumpy.
the largest motors you can get at the moment.
2 don't cut and right 2 into dip.
It does feel like a proper
Into left 3
wrestle.
narrows. Into right right 4, tightens, brake into left 3.
You know, is it
And left 3
wholly
into
realistic?
right 3, tightens, 30.
Probably not. Rally cars
Left 1.
need to be easy to drive and turn. You don't want to
And left 4 short.
knack
into right
yourself
5
out
short,
unduly.
brake. And left 4 short. Into right 5 short. Brake. Into left 2 short. 30. Right 3 tightens. Into left 4 tightens.
So using a direct drive with the force feedback set way too high is
Right
probably not
4
the
and
way
caution,
to
square right.
go fast, but
And left 3, keep
the
into
point
right
of
3
direct
short,
drive
don't
is
cut
it is
narrow,
as
left 4.
immersive as you want it to be. If you want it to be like and get the immediacy of the force feedback, enabling you to be as quick as possible, then you can do that.
Keep into left 2, 50.
If you want to make every stage a workout, so you don't have to go to the gym,
Right 3, don't cut, open
then you can
into
definitely
finish.
do that as well. If you want to make it feel like that the power steerings, if you want to make it feel like your car's got actual power steering or hydraulic steering, then you can make those change in the software. And that's the strengths of direct drive, but you have to put the efforts to get that specific feel that you want to achieve and have a good working knowledge of how force feedback is sort of explained. You know, it's not, yeah, I need to change the difficulty settings. It's not as simple as, yeah, that'd be awesome. And I think I need to do a BeamNG string. BeamNG string? BeamNG stream. Because you can, I think you can just like in the settings change your power steering for it to be broken, and then you can just grizz it through, and you can pretend to be Pierre-Louis Loubet at Monte Carlo when he had broken power steering for 3 stages. He looked in absolute misery during that stage. You know, I think that's why the 100% force feedback challenges do so well for quite a lot of YouTubers, for a lot of sim racers on their YouTube channels, because it just looks painful just ramping everything up. It feels like you're churning butter. But I need to change camera setup so you can see the wheel if I was to do something like that. But 10 Newton meters isn't as impressive as 25. What is a cool thing with all these direct drive wheels now, is that there's no shying away from bad force feedback. Because if direct drive becomes the new norm for 6 racing, it becomes, the Moser R5 or the CSL DD 5 Newton meters, there's no excuse now why the force feedback, what you're feeling is poor. You can understand if you use a cog wheel or even a belt wheel with a bit of slippage, but what you get from the game is what you experience in your wheel. And with telemetry and other bits and bobs, you can make it hopefully infinitely better, particularly on games that has poor force feedback. Right, so I've got 2 stages there. I've got to change the tyres. Do I change the tyres around? Yeah, I'm going to swap tyres. Cool. Right. Yeah, let's give it a go. Because direct drive's so too much new me. Oh yeah. I think I've only done it once or twice when I tried to hold onto a wheel in a crash in BeamNG, and yeah, it did not go well for me. I haven't broken any bones yet. Usually quite safe because I don't have a safety switch on the Simagic. I do have a little switch, but I need to get the button and put that down somewhere by my leg. So I do try to hold on, I can instantly a kill switch. That's what it's called. Yeah, I need to do a stream on BeamNG because that game, when you're doing rallying, is so good. I wish it ran a little bit better, and I really wished it used VR. Mainly because I want to get into doing auto solos and auto sprints. And the great thing about BeamNG is you can set up you can make your own track quite in the game with like traffic cones in a big car park, and that's what you tend to do in auto solos and sprints. But I find with even with my ultra wide monitor that I want to be able to look around and see where the cones are. So I do hope they implement VR in that game. I think it might break it. Or crashing in VR is going to be awful in that game. Oh god, that's going to be terrifying. Imagine having VR and doing a big crash, going off the cliff. Oh, that would be terrifying. Oh, I didn't change the setup. I didn't change the brake bias, did I? Ah, never mind. Right. Back end's going to be a bit squirrely in this game.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. 50. Flat right and flat left, 30. Right 6 tightens, 3 out into flat right, narrows, 30. Right 6 tightens and left 6, 3 in, brake, tightens 3, 30. Right 5 tightens and left 5 short, 3 in, 30. Right 6 tightens into left 5 short.
I do like these Rally 2 cars. See, I think the Rally 2 should be what WRC is.
Right 5 into left 5 and right 4.
They also feel better in this game.
Into left 5, small cut and right 4, bumpy, keep in, 30, bumpy.
I mean, the Rally 1 cars are awesome with the hybrid and so fast, and they have a bit more weight to them, and you can carry a bit more speed, but
widens 300 and through water 200.
I do think the Rally 2s are the best bang for buck rally experience.
Jump 400, keep middle.
Yeah, I need to change the using the stock setup just with the brake bias incorrectly set up, so I'll get that changed for the next stage if I remember.
And left 6 and caution, jump through water.
I mean, I did crap on WRC Generations force feedback for the lack of road texture feel. Because that's something I personally really want in a force feedback, because I don't have transducers or a butt kicker. You know, that the immersion physically in sim racing is all through the you know, what I'm feeling with my hands and my feet, and having the road textures would be particularly helpful for that. Not necessarily realistic to what you feel in the actual wheel of a car, perhaps. I mean, you will feel some texture, I'm sure, but
and right 5 into left 4 tightens 30.
That's what kind of infuriates me when people say realistic force feedback. Force feedback by its very nature is not realistic. I mean, yes, in the stereo arm of the car you can feel where the tyres, you know, lose grip.
And hard brake into left 4 into square right, don't cut at junction,
but
30.
the force feedback's trying to replicate feelings that you would get
Flat left tightens
through your
6,
backside, through your back, but through your hips. You know, trying to replicate
right 6
G-forces.
long, tightens 5, narrows.
You don't necessarily feel all that stuff in a wheel on a real car.
And right 6 tightens, rock in, and right 5, rock in.
I did dial in the setup though on force feedback setup on Assetto Corsa to get it as close to my Suzuki Swift Sport as possible.
Right.
And it's pretty much there.
Into left 6 short,
I mean, I could spend a few more hours
finish.
tweaking it to try and attempt it, but I've pretty much got it there where my direct drive wheel feels pretty much exactly the same as my actual car. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I've got a track day booked in February. It's only a couple of weeks away at Bedford Autodrome in the UK, which is basically an old airfield. And I've managed to download a mod of the circuit on Assetto Corsa and in BeamNG, weirdly enough. So I'm gonna, with my VR, I'm gonna be practicing on that before I go to the track day. And my intent is to do a video where I compare my real world Suzuki Swift car with the Swift in game, and then my real world track experience to that in game, and then see where the differences are. I have a good idea where the differences are going to be. But that, yeah, look forward to that video probably coming out a couple of weeks until track day, so it'll be a week or two after that. So it's going to be some GoPro footage, real life footage, sim footage, all sort of interlinked together. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finally recording that video. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That should be a good one. Gonna need your vomit bag if barrel rolling. Oh god, yeah, it's bad enough barrel rolling in Dirt Rally in VR. At least that tends to go grey, and then you have the option to basically take you out. Gonna watch Man U Reading. Alright, come on you Royals. I'm a Reading boy, born and bred, so come on you Royals. Have a good mate. Have a good game. Cheers for coming to the stream. Really appreciate it. But saying that, I was a Man U fan when I was a Glory supporter back in the '90s. I do remember having an Andy Cole and Dwight York Manchester United bedsheets when I was a kid. But yeah, Reading my home team, so I should be rooting for them. But enjoy the game. Right, short stage here, Rally Kenya in the rain. Worst rain effects since PlayStation 2. Don't get how they can make a game look so good some of the time and then really bad the rest of it. It's just, I mean, it's epic. It's how have you done that? Right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Left 3 medium, tightens 100.
Turn too early there.
Brake, jump, into right 2, don't cut.
Is that brake, jump into right 2?
And left 2, don't cut. And flat right, into left 3, big cut. And jump, keep left, into left 4. Into right 2, very long, keep in, and left 3, big cut.
I forgot that it was going left. You see what I mean? Like that sun reflecting. The sun reflecting there was awesome, but then you got this horrible PS2 or PS1, I should say, rain effect, just spoiling the look of the glare that's coming up. Well, that bit looked amazing, but this rain effect is awful.
Jump, keep middle. To left 4 long, opens. Ow. And right 5 into left 3, don't cut.
It's just so frustrating. There's so many good aspects to this game that a couple of poorly implemented bits just ruin the broth.
Caution, hairpin left 80.
I thought that was the end there.
Right 3 cut, under bridge 80.
But that looks amazing apart from the rain.
Left 3 tightens, 150.
Like it.
Left 4 over crest, keep left, don't cut, 100.
What does
Right
it say?
1, don't cut, opens, 80. Let's get back on the track. Right 1,
I
don't
completely
cut, opens,
forgot
80.
that I was actually supposed to be driving a car then.
Left 3 opens long, 80.
Right, left 3. Let's see, the rain in the distance when it's landing looks pretty cool. Even with the wipers blurring it.
Big jump, 150.
But these 2Ds also, it's just, it's so bad.
4 long, 80. And caution, right 3. And left 4 tightens 3 into finish.
Too early again.
100.
I'm not overtly worried. I've got a little while ahead. I need to change the difficulty. Again, 6 seconds ahead. Yeah. I need to tweak it up just a little bit. Give it a go. Final stage of the Safari Rally. I hope you lot have enjoyed this stream and me ranting on about the virtues and the negative of direct drive. I'll be streaming, trying to stream at least twice a week. The wife and the kiddo are back on Thursday, so I'm going to do probably another stream tomorrow. Probably looking at, I do Beam MG. I've not done a Beam stream yet, and it'd be cool to talk about that game a bit. And then I'll do some WRC inspired talk and stuff, because Rally Sweden is coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. So I'll do a Sweden comparison streams between WRC Generation, Dirt Rally 2, Assetto Corsa, and let's see if I can find a snow map in Assetto Corsa, but also in BMG. That'd be pretty cool. Right, final stage, epic stage, 40 kilometers of Rally Kenya. Let's give it a go.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Useless lights.
1. We're off. 100. Flat right into left 6. Into right 5 cut and left 3 opens. Into right 3 and left 5 tightens. And left 5 into right 4 tightens. And left 6 long, don't cut. Into flat right, bumpy, tightens 5, don't cut, 80. Caution, hard brake for square left, don't cut. Into flat right narrows and left 2, don't cut.
Yeah, locked up at the rear.
Into right 2, into left 3. And fast kinks, don't cut, and fast kinks, don't cut, 80. Right 3, don't cut, narrows into fast kinks, don't cut. And left 5 and right 3 into left 3, 50.
This is very oversteery, this car.
Caution, left 2 into right 2, don't cut. And kinks, jump and left 5, narrows.
It's not
Into
quite
right
working
5,
for
very
me.
long,
And
tightens. And caution, jump into right 4, 50. Kinks, narrows and kinks, keep in. Brake for square right, 50. Left 5 long and left 4 narrows. Into water, jump, 50.
oh, I lost loads of times there.
Right 5 short, into left 5 tightens, 3 short. Into right 3 and right 5, 80. Caution, right 4 tightens, very narrow.
It's quite cool in this
Widens,
game.
400, jump, 200.
You feel the weight of the car a lot better than in previous versions of this series. You need to use the weight of the car to your advantage. I struggle with that, and I've damaged the turbo.
And
Cool.
caution, narrows right 6, tightens 4. Into left 5 brake, into right 4, 30.
So it means you need to plan off your corners a lot better.
Right 5 opens and left right 5.
Listen to your co-driver and stop talking during a stage because you're dropping
To
time.
left 4, keep in, and right 5, into left 4, don't cut. And right 5 short, into left 6, 80.
So this looks awesome, this bit. That sun glaring through.
Caution, left 3, rock in, 30. Left 4, don't cut, into kinks, 30. Left 6, bumpy, keep into right 6.
Again, losing time.
Left 4 tightens, into right 4 tightens. And right 6 into flat left, bumpy. Into flat
I don't want to
right,
lose too
into
much
flat left,
time.
bumpy, tightens.
I don't want to lose my first
Into
place.
right 5 into left 6, tightens, tree out.
I was aiming for that tree there, that was
Left
stupid.
6 into right 5, short, 30. Left 5 short, tree in, into flat right. Keep into right 3, opens long, 100, jump.
Important trait of looking where you want to go, not where you're ending up. If you look at a tree that you're trying to avoid, you're going to end up
Into
hitting the
right 6,
tree.
tightens 3 at junction, into kinks.
That was a bit silly.
Right 2, don't cut, and left 2, small cut, 50 over bump.
You can hear the
Into left 5, narrows,
engine
rock
not
out,
sounding
left
too
2,
happy. Or the turbo, I should say.
Into right 3, tightens. And flat left bumpy, into right 5.
Tyres
don't
now
cut,
feeling a
30.
bit... Car feels a bit heavier, so the tyre wear I think is
Left 4 bumpy, into right
having
5
an
bumpy,
effect now.
100.
The weight has changed in the car and
Left 6 into right 5
it's not
narrows,
quite as
50.
nimble anymore.
Left 6 into right 6 narrows, brake 50.
Maybe I should have put hard tyres on the back just to
Left 3, 50.
keep it grounded in the green sector, huzzah.
Right bumpy 50. Left 5 over crest, keep middle 150, bumpy.
Oh, That low sun's not helping me.
Left 2 narrows through gate, widens 100. Jump into flat right 200.
Hope you guys enjoying your Saturday evening, whatever you guys are getting up to.
Jump into hard brake for square left, narrows 30.
Suffering with the mother of all headaches. So this is going to be my last bit of
50, bumpy. Look out, wrong track. Flat left 150, bumpy.
So it's going to be my last bit of rally action for the day. I'll come back tomorrow and hopefully I'm feeling a little bit better.
Into right 6 tightens over jump 100. And left 6 brake, jump.
2 green sectors, but this one's definitely going to be red. Oh, definitely.
Any injuries?
Just some damaged pride, Neville.
Left 4.
It's not worth restarting the stage. I'm just going to keep at it. Hopefully I'll get the win.
Into right 4 and right 4. Left 5 tightens, hard brake for hairpin right at junction. And left 3 and right 3 long, tightens. Into left 2 short, into right 2 short. Into left 2 caution through water, keep into right 2, tightens 30, bumpy.
Oh, loads of time lost.
Left 2, don't cut, and right 2 into dip. Into left 3, narrows. Into right 4, tightens, brake, into left 3.
Oh, my car is suffering. The
right
tyres are going off. Got engine and turbo issues. And here comes the rain, just what you want.
And left 4 short, into right 5 short, brake, into left 2 short, 30. Right 3 tightens, into left 4 tightens. Into right 4 and caution, square right. And left
Square
3,
right,
keep into right 3 short, don't cut, narrows, into left 4. And left 2, into right 2, 30. Right 2 opens, keep into left 2, 50. Right 3, don't cut, opens into finish.
I'm quite thankful it's coming to the finish because this has been the worst stage by far. I'm mounting the finish line there. That was god awful. Can I go to replay mode? I don't care about you guys sending data. Yeah, 12 seconds off. Replay mode. Let's how do I what's that? Shift? No, I don't want to do camera change. No, I don't want to do that. What's this button? Tab. No. Shift. No. That's not what I wanted. What's that button? Oh, I have to do function up. I don't have this button. I just want to get to the end. Why can't you let me click on it? What could that button be? Super rally speed. Look how fast I am. Woo. I just want to get... Despite going a bazillion miles an hour fast forward, that's quite good, doesn't it, this game at times? We're not great. This is where I cracked. Let's have a look at that again. Where I forget that there's a corner. Let's play from here. And I enjoyed that. Bad rallying done right. This is the difference between sim and real world racing, is that I can roll a Ford Fiesta, crash it straight, missing the corner, and the car will be absolutely fine. Oh, I forgot about this stupid rain effect. It's like lightning or something. It's just far too bright. No. What? No! Oh, all that, and I didn't even get to see it. That's annoying. Screw you, WRC Generations, and your bloody annoying bugs. Well, won the event. That's always good. Anyway, I want to call the stream there. Thank you very, very much for watching. Leave a like, comment, and think about subscribing. Let me know what wheelbase you use, whether you agree with my synopsis that direct drive isn't everything, but it is bloody good when it needs to be. But right, I'm going to leave you there. I'll be back online for a stream perhaps tomorrow afternoon. I'm not going to go out into the evening. But thanks very much for watching the stream, and